What's up guys, it's Light Spiral here, and today I'm going to be bringing you a video of a Necro B10 team with Theomars in it. You can see the team on screen right here. If you have the Water Lich, that will probably even do better than the Dark Lich, but I don't have the Water Lich right now, and I do have the Dark Lich, so yeah, I know it's not obtainable, but the Water Lich would probably work better than the Dark Lich. So I'll get this run going, and I'll explain why Theo is both pretty popular as well as not too popular in Necro. The not as popular reason, I'm sure you guys could probably think of a little bit, but first of all, if you do use his leader skill, which I'm using right now, he does have a nice leader skill. 24% crit rate is pretty awesome. Right now, I don't have my guys runed for the Theo leader skill because I never thought to use Theo until like 2 or 3 days ago. He increased my runtime by about a minute. My team used to be about 3.5 minutes, and now it's about 2.5 minutes. This is a lot nicer. I got my first ever sub 2-minute run with this team right here last night. It was 152, so that was pretty cool as well. When I runed these guys up, I runed them with 70 crit rate because I was ruining them assuming that I'd have the Adrian crit rate buff. But on rune removal day, I think it's in about a week, I will be re-runing them to account for the Theo lead and the crit rate buff. So that would mean I only need to get like 46 crit on everyone and they'll have 100. So that's going to be pretty insane actually, to only need 46 crit rate to have max crit rate. And I'm pretty excited to do that one. The other things Theo brings is the first skill he's got. It'll do a lot of damage on the first stage, and if it does hit the boss without the shield on, it'll do pretty solid damage. Mine just did 17,000. I'll show you guys the runes on Theo afterwards. And then he also does a 2-turn dot if he does land it. Mine only has like 30 accuracy, so he doesn't always land debuffs, as well as he's not skilled up at all, so the dot activation rate is pretty low. And that's kind of all the first skill does. It's just pretty solid damage if the shield's down, as well as in the first stages it does pretty solid damage. And then the second skill he's got is a triple hit, which is pretty nice if the shield's up or if the shield's down, because it does do a defense break with a, I want to say 35% chance. I really don't know what the chance is on defense break, but I'm sure a lot of you guys do know. Mine's not max skilled, right? Just like I said earlier, there's no skill ups in him, so the defense break doesn't always land, as well as he doesn't have the accuracy to make it land, but it does land every now and then, which is nice. Just so you guys know, the first skill and the second skill, from my experience, at least with my runes, do basically the exact same damage. They both do about 17,000, and then his passive is pretty cool. A gives him a bonus 15 crit rate. He's basically the only monster in the game that gets element advantage on the boss, and the boss doesn't get element advantage back, because since the boss is dark, the only other way to get element advantage is to use a light monster, but then the boss gets element advantage on you, so it's kind of a tricky situation there. But Theo gets the bonus 15, so if you use his leader skill and Adrian, you get 30 plus 24, so that's 54 plus 15 is 69% bonus crit rate, if I did the math right. Whoa! 69, that seems like a lot. But if that's right, your Theo only needs to get to 31 crit rate, which is insanely easy because he also awakens into 15 extra crit rate. So basically you need 1 crit rate from subs, and you've got max crit rate on him in your Necro team. And so that's pretty good actually. Also, he has the Endure buff, so sometimes when the Liches go over, they will do their defense break skill and hit Theo 2 or 3 times, and when that happens, the Endure sometimes gets popped, but sometimes your Theo will still survive afterwards because Colleen will get a heal off, and then you'll get the attack break on the boss, and he'll be able to survive because he had the Endure. So he is pretty good in that regard. So The reason people like him, to put it simple, is just because he does a lot of damage, and people typically give him really good runes, so he does even extra damage on top of that. The reasons people don't like him, to put it simple, is he doesn't have debuffs, like speed debuff, and then he doesn't do multi-hits. So the way he's speed synced with my team, I have it so he's actually the second fastest because he wasn't speed synced to be in my Necro team. I have him runed for guild battles, and I just slot him in here, and he did good. But you typically want your speed debuffers to be the slowest, which means your Theo isn't the slowest, which means your Theo is going to break the shield, which means he's not going to do any damage. So basically, while the shield's up, Theo's pretty trash. But when the shield goes down and the defense break goes up, Theo does a lot of damage. So half of his turns on the boss stage are pretty much wasted, but the other half do a lot of damage. Another reason he's pretty good is people will typically put Violent on him, and Violent in Necro works extremely well. Mine actually doesn't have Violent. I wanted Violent, but I just didn't have the Violent runes to give him. So here's my Theo. I've got him on Will, Revenge, and Shield. He's runed for guild battles, not Necro. So that's why he's got this much HP. He's got like 17,000 HP, if I did the math right. Whatever attack that is, 1,700 attack, 700 defense, 175 speed, max crit rate with the leader skill and even without the buff. And he's got 150 crit damage and 34 accuracy. So the defense break does land every there and then with 34 accuracy. But if you're ruining your Theo specifically for Necro, you'll want 45 accuracy because that's the accuracy cap. But like I said, mine's Guild War Theo. You can see he's got one skill up in the first skills, and then he doesn't have any in the second. He's on speed, crit damage, attack. Pretty much the recommended build that I would give to anyone. But that's kind of what I got to say about Theo in Necro. I personally liked him a lot in Necro, but I'm aware that some people don't like him. Let me see if he's actually in the top used. Yeah, he's actually number 14. You can see 2.16% of people that beat Necro use Theo. So he is pretty popular. I mean, he's the 14th most popular monster in this dungeon. And I definitely liked him and would recommend him in Necro. And like I said, I'd recommend it to you guys. But I think that's really all I got for this video, guys. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, be sure to tell me in the comment sections. Also, if there's any other videos you want to see, you can also mention that in the comments. But I think that's all I've got for today, though, guys. So may the best of your todays be the worst of your tomorrows.